Hello, everybody. It's the Ash Heriter, and today we're here with something new. Something I alluded to in the latest episode of my Crusader Kings series, but we are here with Warhammer Total War 2. If you're not familiar with this game, it is you probably are. It's, kind of big in the grand strategy department. But anyways, it follows the Total War genre of a turn-based campaign map with real-time battles with shit tons of dudes on the screen at once. Or in this case, bony dudes. Because we're going to be playing as the Tomb Kings. As Settra the Imperishable. Because honestly, I can't find a compelling reason to play any of these other chumps up here. They're just, there's a lot of them. And you're probably wondering why the fuck there are so many if you are familiar with this game. And I'll get to that in just a sec. But this is the only one we need to worry about, okay? It's Settra. Settra is the greatest of all. Just period, okay? Now, why are there so many different lords? Why are there way more lords than there are in the base game, even with all the DLCs, which I do have? And that is because I am playing with quite a few mods. So currently I'm running the SFO Grimhammer Overhaul mod, which overhauls basically every aspect of the game. Kind of changes up the dynamics of combat, changes up the dynamics of empire building, and kind of takes what every faction is good at in lore and cranks it up to 11. So everybody's kind of a bit overpowered, and ultimately that's okay. It also adds in, and it's optional, so you can turn it off if you don't want it. I am going to use it because it kind of removes one thing that I really don't like about the game, but it adds in an option that limits the number of units that you can recruit of a certain type within each army and in your faction overall. And these limits within the faction can be modified by building stuff. So it's basically already the core Tomb Kings mechanic, but then applied to every other faction. So we will be applying both of those, because this will prevent doom stacking. This will prevent the AI from doom stacking. I'm not going to doom stack myself at all. In fact, I'm just going to keep it on normal campaign, normal battle difficulty. SFO is a bit harder than normal anyways, but I don't want the AI to get rampant cheats, and in battle, anything more than, hard battle difficulty really throws the balance of the game completely out of whack. Like, units that should be good against other units lose. And that's just because the AI gets unnatural buffs. And it's just dumb. It forces you to play the game in a way that it's not meant to be played. I mean, some people can argue that, of course. People play it however the hell they want to play it. I'm not here to try hard. I don't give a damn about very hard or legendary difficulty. I don't care about those achievements. I'm not going to do it. Those games, I tried it a bit, and it is just such a slog of playing where you have to play with specific units because they're the only ones that can win, and you just have to play to win. We're going to play to have fun, and this is going to be a role-playing campaign. Alright, we're going to role-play Settra the Imperishable. If you know anything about Settra the Imperishable, he has a giant list of titles, which I'm not going to read out for the sake of your sanity. Maybe I will read them out at some point, actually, for the sake of your sanity, because you need to know. Settra... Yeah, actually, we're going to do that. Not right now. Maybe next episode. But we're going to do it eventually. Alright? We need to know Settra's glorious titles, because they are glorious. And he is glorious. I mean, look at him. He's a little bit dead. Just a bit. But he's woken up from his long slumber after living a life of conquest and forming one of the largest human empires in the world. He was promised eternal life by the Liche Priests, only to wake up in this desiccated, dead state. He's not very happy, so he banished all of the Liche Priests. And now he's got his eyes set out on reconquering the lands of Nehekhara and beyond, and showing all these other upstart Tomb Kings who's boss. So we're going to roleplay that, which means... So you're probably wondering, all of this difficulty stuff, that's going to make the campaign super easy. It's not. We're going to self-nerf hard. And we're going to make themed armies, or we're going to play fluff builds. We're not going to play to win. We're just going to play how it goes in the lore. And, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So one of the big nerfs we're going to do is no Liche Priests. We've banished them all. We will not recruit any Liche Priests. If we get one from an event... and it's like not an event that I can choose something else, okay, we'll keep it. We'll have that be the one exception of some Liche Priest that managed to ingratiate himself back with Settra. But that's it. The other thing I wanted to bring up is we are playing with quite a few mods. So SFO Grimhammer is just one of them. We also have Mixu's Legendary Lords, which adds just a ton. And we have the compatibility mods to bring them up to speed with SFO Grimhammer. So, like, Mixu's Legendary Lords adds 2 High Elves, so Coril of Crace and Belinar the Wise. It adds Tedo Echo and Huinitenuchli to the Lizardmen. Doesn't add anybody to the Dark Elves, but it adds Fesket to the Skaven and Tutankhanut to the Tomb Kings. These 2 are from a different mod, and I'll get to them in just a sec. It adds, like, all of... Boris is already technically a lord, but it adds all of these lords, and these are now the Elector Counts of the Empire, and they're all fleshed out, fully playable legendary lords. And it's very cool. They're unique. They're all unique. And so actually playing the Empire as Karl Franz and, like, playing, Pokemon, collecting all the Elector Counts, it's actually super fun. I also have Kataf's Southern Realms and the compatibility mods to bring it up to speed with SFO, which adds all of these guys. These are the factions of the Border Princes, Tobaro, Tilia, Estalia, and the New World colonies. So these are all new characters. So the Dwarves, what's been added, Khazador Dragonslayer and Grim Burlockson are from Mixu's Legendary Lords. And then we have Gorfang Rotgut to the Greenskins from Mixu's Legendary Lords. And I'm also running, I think it's Mixu's Museum, which is an overhaul that makes Museum playable. That's basically the Bretonnian vampires. And you get to either play as Malabad, the Black Serpent, or as the Red Duke. And they're a completely unique faction. They're basically, French undead. It's a lot of fun. It also adds Egil Stilbjorn. This is Mixu's Legendary Lords. Adds Egil Stilbjorn to the Norskans. It does the same thing with the Bretonnian Dukes, or at least with some of them. So they're all unique characters that are playable. It adds Daith, the Prophetess Naiath, and Wickwithil the Wild to the Wood Elves. Goros Warhoof and Moloch Slugtongue to the Beastmen. And then Egrim Van Horseman and Akel Hellbrass to a new Chaos faction called the Cabal. So, with those mods, it adds a ton of stuff. Now, they're not directly relevant to us. They're just going to make the map a bit more interesting. Because we're playing the Tomb Kings. What's directly relevant to us is we're also playing with Tomb Kings Extended. And the modification to it that makes Archon's faction more interesting. So, again, we're just using that because we're going to fight Archon. That's going to be one of our campaign goals, is to kick his fucking ass. He's part of the reason why Nehekhara is just dead. I mean, technically it's all Nagash's fault, but we can't get to Nagash, so we'll kill him. We will kill him dead again and again and again, as many times as it takes, and we'll enjoy every second of it. All right. So, anyways, the mod modifies his faction a lot more to make it more unique, even more than it already is, and then it adds 2 other Tomb Kings, Nekhanatan and Rakaf. So Rakaf is kind of to the south. Actually, Nekhanathan's also to the south. Rakaf has an interesting thing where his cities appear like ruins, so he's like a hidden lord and all that. And then Nekhanatan has an army up in the Badlands, and he's basically reconquering the Badlands. We're also running the... it's a mod, I can't remember the name of it, that allows you to recruit fallen legendary lords. So if a legendary lord's faction is destroyed, either by yourself or by somebody else, it will prompt a thing that'll come up on the screen that's like, do you want to absorb the remnants of this faction into your faction? Which will allow you to then recruit that legendary lord if you accept it. The enemy also gets this, so, like, late game, these legendary lords aren't... Like, if Balthazar Gelt gets whacked on, like, turn 5, that doesn't mean we don't see Balthazar Gelt ever again in the campaign. No, he's gonna go probably to Reichland and be recruited by Karl Franz as a legendary lord. So the enemy gets to make use of this as well. And we're only going to make use of this when it's lore friendly. Archon, no. He gets executed. If that prompt comes up, he dies. Straight up dead. Alright? Any of the other ones... Khatep, he's a Liche Priest. He got banished by me. He's not coming back, alright? We're not going to kill him, because that wasn't part of the verdict. But we're going to banish him right the fuck back as soon as, that prompt comes up. As for the other ones, if they got wiped out and they come to my court seeking my aid, alright, fine, we'll let them in. If I conquer them, and they didn't, submit to me as vassals or as allies or whatever, then they're going to either be killed or banished. But we'll see. For the most part, this mod is actually going to hurt us. Another thing, because we're running Tomb Kings Extended, which adds a ton of units to the Tomb Kings, and I'm doing it because it makes their general gameplay a whole lot more interesting. And I'm going to just click Start Campaign here right now. We're not going to go through this. We'll just see what all of this is when we start the campaign. But basically, it's a cinematic.
The sands of time ravage all. Mortals, monuments, even civilizations cannot stand against it. Their remnants lost beneath the dunes, awaiting discovery by the brave or foolish.
I've legit never seen this cinematic before.
Like time itself, the living are not welcome in Nehekhara. For this is the land of the dead, ruled by the Tomb Kings, where only the expired may serve. In life, they were tyrants, now cursed with undeath.
Oh my god, he's so glorious.
They crave power more than any living thing, and none more so than Settra the Imperishable.
He's so glorious.
Eternity was promised, but the Tomb Kings awoke to unlife, no longer beatific sovereigns. Their kingdoms as decayed as their bodies. The glory of Khemri lost, forgotten. A comet, an omen. The Black Pyramid stirs, but does not wake. A vessel of untold power, awaiting a new master. But it remains sealed. The Liche Priests are tasked with finding access. They venture deep into the catacombs, seeking clues. Discovering an obelisk inscribed with hieroglyphs as old as the desert gods. The answer lies in the 9 books of Nagash, the original tomes of undead lore, authored by the arch-necromancer. Due to the turbulence of the vortex across the ocean, not 9, but only 5 books are needed. Then, the pyramid shall open. Time has seen the books lost, scattered. Other Tomb Kings will seek them, for all desire the Black Pyramid. Begin the search. Raise your warriors. The legions of Khemri march to war.
Aren't they glorious? So we're not going to do that, because we're playing Mortal Empires. At least I really hope we're playing Mortal Empires. I clicked on Mortal Empires. But that was definitely the the cinematic for the Tomb Kings Vortex campaign, which is probably why I've never seen it. I've never played Tomb Kings on the Vortex. I barely played the Vortex campaign at all. outside of when it originally came out. So if you're new to the game, basically, like, there was Warhammer Total War 1, which had the factions in the Old World, which is kind of like the northwestern part of the world. And then Warhammer Total War 2 came out, which created a new map that added the factions of the, like, far western continent and the southern continent, and then Ulthuan, which is this, like, ring continent in the middle that's ruled by the High Elves. And then they combined the two maps in a grand campaign called Mortal Empires. They of course had to adjust the maps a bit, but overall, like, everything is still there, except for, like, some of the parts to the very south and the very far east and west. Actually, just the very far west have been cut off. But there were no real factions that we need to worry about out and around there. But anyways, we're playing on the big campaign map. I hope so. Like, that is what I clicked on, and the faction selection screen kind of implied that we were. But, again, the cinematic implies that we aren't. So I guess we'll see. We'll see if this is a bug with one of the mods, in which case you won't see this video, because we'll have to reshoot it, and that'll be a pain in the ass. But, yeah, so, modded playthrough. We're going to be playing with specific objectives. We're going to be limiting ourselves in many different ways. And I'll get into that when we can actually look at the units, because there are a bunch more units added to the Tomb Kings because of the Tomb Kings Extended mod. And I will not be using all of them, because I do not feel all of them are lore-friendly. And some of them also bloat the roster. So to avoid any excess roster bloat, I'm not going to be using probably half of them outside of specific circumstances. So there's, like, as an example, there's, like, the Royal Guard, which are basically like super Tomb Guards. And the Tomb Guards are already your elite infantry, right? And the Royal Guard are just, like, better versions of them, which kind of just invalidate Tomb Guard even existing. So we won't use them.
Settra, greatest of all kings. Your civilization lies in mere ruins of its former glory. Much must be done to restore greatness to your kingdom, and for all to fear your wrath once more.
Yeah. We know. No, we're gonna remain in Khemri. We're not. So this is an option from the mod that allows you to actually, like, change up your starting position. So if you want, you can start in Bretonnia, basically invading Bretonnia. But we're gonna remain in Khemri. We'll keep this lore friendly. And here we are.
Settra is desiccated.
Yeah, Settra is desiccated. He said it himself, and he's not feeling great about it. But, so, we have all these other units. So, like, for example, if we look here, like, look at all this. There's so much more. Where do we have it? God damn it, come on. Yeah, like the Royal Guard. We will not use Royal Guard for any of our armies except for Settra's army. Settra can use Royal Guard, but that's it. The Nehekhara Knights, I don't know what they are. I will recruit one and look at them. If they don't fit the Tomb King's aesthetic, I will probably not use them. The Skeleton War Elephants I might use. Just have to see, and then, like, some of this stuff is, like, Serpent Guard. I don't even know what half of these are. This is my second time playing this mod, and the first time I only played it a little bit. But it is a very cool mod. We have Tomb Guard Horsemen. I probably won't be using. I will use the, like, better Nehekhara Horsemen, but I won't be using Tomb Guard Horsemen because that wasn't really their thing. They had chariots. There are Royal Guard chariots. I will use those, and not just in Settra's army, because that makes sense. I always kind of found it weird that there aren't, like, an elite chariot variant, but now there are. Tomb Guard Archers we'll use. They had, like, both the actual ancient Egyptians had, you know, elite archers, and it makes sense that they would have them as well. So we'll display it by ear as we go, what units we will use and which ones we won't. But we will not be using all of them. Now, going over Settra. So Settra starts here. Yeah, he rules everything. Well, actually, right now, mate, you're only ruling Khemri, but we're gonna sort that. So he starts off with 2 of the Hawk Legion of Settra. This is basically a unique Legion of Legend, which comes from the Steel Faith Overhaul mod. That different locations allow you to recruit these elite units within your army, providing you meet some sort of parameter, which I don't remember. But alright, we are going to get the open graves here. We'll build this here so that we can build archers. Now, we also have a legendary hero. Nehekhara, the Herald of Settra. Who, yeah, I have no idea what he does, actually. What does he do? This is all the usual stuff. Weakness, magic resistance. Yeah, I guess we'll see when we level him up and what his abilities are. Yeah, we will put him in Settra's army. Again, we are not going to be recruiting Liche Priests. Alright. So, the first thing we need to do is take Zandry. There's these filthy, absolutely just disgusting, degenerate greenskins that have taken over my lands, and that is not allowed. So, we're gonna go and take over Zandry. To do that, we're gonna recruit some skeletons. By some, I mean a lot. The Tomb King's early game is a bit wretched, because all you're doing is recruiting skeletons, for the most part. But we're going to get a second army. Now, another thing Steel Faith Overhaul does is it makes the dynastic lords into unique characters, which is awesome. Each one of these is its own custom model. They have their own custom skill line. They have their own custom, like, fighting style. So, like, this guy, Wakaf, is on foot with dual swords. He's basically a duelist. Then there is Rakash, who is, yeah, on a steed with a sword and halberd. Thutep is just a lord on a war sphinx. Lamizash is an archer lord, which is pretty dope. Setep is on a steed with a sword and a staff. I think he's also a caster, so he's also like a priest king, like Settra is. And then there's Alcazar, who's on a chariot with a halberd and a shield. He unlocks the recruitment of Royal Chariot Guard. We're going to go with this guy, because you'll see, chariots are going to be a thing in this army. We will absolutely be using chariots. Frequently. Now. Okay. So we can't do the Casket of Souls right for the first 20 turns, which is a crying shame, but it is what it is. And, yeah. Let's, yeah, no, Settra does not serve. Which automatically rules him out of most hospitality jobs, so, you know, if this doesn't work out with him being an emperor, he's gonna have a rough time finding a job. Like, he's not gonna be able to be a barista or a, you know, a waiter or any of that, because he'll never serve. So he'll have to find other jobs. Something that doesn't involve serving. Also can't play tennis. Or at least, he better win tennis in one hit, which he probably can. I mean, I'd surrender if I was playing tennis against Settra. Right. So. We are not at a 20 stack yet, and I want to be at a 20 stack, so we're going to wait till that's done, actually. But during this time, we're going to raid. We'll raid, we'll get some slaves, so that's something the Tomb Kings get. They get slaves with the Tomb Kings Extended mod, which is fun. We'll get slaves, we'll get a bit of money. And once that is done, we will recruit some archers. Because we will use archers, of course. Archers are quite good in this game. Ah, they're attacking Khemri. Maybe I'll back up and kill them. Yeah. Well, I mean, what's our garrison like? Our garrison's pretty solid. I don't think they're gonna do much. So never mind. We're gonna ignore them. They can attack our walls and die if they want. And we'll get four archers. And we got one more unit left. Let's pick up another skeleton warrior. We don't need too many spearmen. And oh yeah, our unique units. We have a unit of Tomb Guard with halberds. We have a one chariot unit. We now have a second one. We have a war sphinx. And then we've got the 2 units of the Hawk Legion. And then, of course, we have our special Tomb Herald. Which I'm really glad Tomb Heralds are a thing, because they were in the tabletop, and they were pretty cool. I played Tomb Kings in the tabletop, by the way, along with Greenskins. Don't ask me why I play Greenskins, or why I played them back in the day, because I hate them now. Like, I loathe this faction. Which works with Settra, because he's all about exterminating the Greenskins. Ah, I clicked a thing! Oh god, I hate that. I hate that so much. Alright, load. Sorry, guys. That was obnoxious. I'll continue my thought. Because I used to play greenskins back in the day, but I really detest them now. At least in Total War, I generally don't like their aesthetic or the kind of, I don't know, the football hooligan nature of them. I don't know, this grimdark setting, in my opinion, they just feel a little out of place. And I get it, they're still pretty grimdark, alright? You don't need to tell me that. Like, they're incredibly brutal. And, you know, it's fine. It works within Warhammer. Like, I wouldn't argue for them to be removed from the setting. I just don't really like them. So, you can be damn certain that we're going to wipe them out. We will never... That's another thing we're going to do. Our diplomacy is also going to be a major disadvantage for us, because there's some factions we will never engage in diplomacy with. Anybody that we view as an interloper, or any form of scavenger that's trying to steal Nehekharan territory, anybody that ever declares war on us, we will never sue for peace. We'll just annihilate them. Anybody that refuses an offer from us, we will annihilate. Anybody that makes a demand of us, we will annihilate. So that's how we're going to play this. Not the most diplomatic of playthroughs. Alright, this time we're not clicking on the thing. That was really stupid that I just, like, randomly had my cursor there and clicked at the exact moment that popped up. Because I think that was the thing which determines the unit caps. Which is the SFO thing that I definitely want to have turned on, and I'm pretty sure I just turned it off. There we go. See? So, basically, you can either choose faction-wide caps, which is basically what the Tomb Kings already have, where your more elite units are restricted to the amount of them that you can recruit throughout your entire faction. Which, yeah, makes it so that you're... Unless you have the infrastructure to build them, you can't just infinitely spam elite units from one building. You actually have to have multiple buildings to make more elite units. Like, every building slot unlocks a few of them. And it is more for the other faction than it is for the other factions than it is for the Tomb Kings, to balance it out. Then there's army caps, which basically... so this is based off of the tabletop, where when you're playing the tabletop... you have to field a certain amount of core units, which are your basic type of units. And this does vary. Like, certain units that you might not expect to be base units can be base units. And then you're only allowed to field a certain amount of special units and only allowed to field a certain amount of rare units. So this will basically emphasize this, where I think you're only allowed to field, like, what is it, 7 or 8? No, 10 special units and 5 rare units per army. So this will prevent doom stacking, because the doom stackable units are for the most part rare units. So we're going to do both. This will limit us, it'll also limit the AI, and prevent us from having to field bullshit when the AI inevitably sends doom stacks at us. So they won't anymore.
Settra is close.
Do I go for them? I feel like they'll flee if I do, but they're raiding my territory and that cannot stand. Yeah, see, look, they're just running away. And okay, there's another army, so this is good. We'll defend our territory for a bit at first. What can we do? Let's actually go into ambush. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Oh, we can do our right. Well, we've got the money for it. So let's get ourselves a casket of souls. So we can delete one of these guys. Preferably one of the non-leveled up ones, and we can recruit a Casket of Souls. So this is our magical artillery piece. It's basically the Ark of the Covenant, and it is beautiful. Oh my god, it is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's absolutely destructive. One of my favorite artillery pieces in the game. Alright, you guys gonna... Yeah, there. Oh no, they found me. 2 armies attacking me. Well, quick save. We might die. That's fine. It says Valiant Defeat in the auto-resolve, but the auto-resolve, we can't trust that. So they unfortunately they spotted me, which is reasonable because we're trying to hide in like out in the open. Which admittedly for the Tomb Kings they'd probably do better than others because they can just hide under the sand. They don't have to worry about that breathing business that all the breathers have to worry about. Speaking of breathers, look at them. So filthy. These wretched, unwashed greenskins. By the way, guys, I'll be cutting out a lot of the battle or the like loading stuff that comes up. I'm not going to make you sit through all of it. It's just like if I'm having a train of thought, then we'll continue on with it. It's not very long. We'll start deployment like this. I don't want to risk for more winds of magic. All right, there's 2 armies coming, and unfortunately they are... Yeah, there's one that's going to be coming from right there, and then the main one, which is going to be coming from right out there. So I actually would like to crush the one that's coming from out here first. Another thing we won't be doing is corner camping or cheesing the stupid AI. So the whole tower bullshit that you find in sieges where you like hide in one corner of the map, we're not going to do. Like, obviously we'll be smart about it, but I'm not going to deliberately do stuff that is just cheesy. So no corner camping. If there is natural terrain that we can camp and put our backs to, absolutely. But I'm not going to put my backs to some arbitrary white line that the enemy, for game mechanics reasons, can't go around. We're not going to do that, because that's unrealistic and dumb. And I hate watching that in other people's campaigns, which is one of the reasons why I don't watch too many campaigns, because a lot of people do it. Alright, let's get our archers up in the front, just briefly. They'll, of course, pull back the moment they can. We'll have our herald actually sit here in with the tomb guard, so he'll go in there. Chariots. Let me put my chariots back here. They're going to go here. We want our Sphinx right up in the front as well. Another thing we won't be doing is sending in single entities to blob the enemy up. You know, it might happen accidentally, but I'm not going to specifically try and do it. So I hate that when people do that. We'll keep our casket over here. Alright, and here we go. Okay, I don't have nearly as much maneuvering room as I thought I might. But let's let the casket do its thing. And let's have the army advance. Like, look at the damage that did. It's ridiculous. I love it so much. But alright, we do need to be cognizant of what's coming from this direction. So actually, I'm going to... because they're going to be here a lot faster than I thought. So I'm actually going to pull Settra back. No, I'm going to have Settra fight right here. You guys fight there. He can do the Wrath of Petra, which is an explosion. It'll kill some guys. So these guys can pull out here. We need our chariots to be ready. In fact, I'm going to pull back this way so that I can harass the back ranks. But we're already putting the hurt on them pretty good. So I'd rather have my casket focus on those guys. That's their war boss, huh? I'm going to send Settra after the war boss. Alright. I think we're doing pretty good. So I'm going to move my skeletons up. Archers back here. Whoops, did not click on all of them. So yeah, that war boss there needs to die. These guys are going to pull up. Alright. Okay, perfect. They're charging... Never mind. They were smart. They didn't charge directly into my spearmen. But there's 2 units of boar boys, which is why I'm hesitant to engage my chariots on that side, because chariots are pretty bad against cavalry. But we'll do it like this. We'll send these guys on a deep flank. You guys... So we've routed one of the armies. I'm going to move in the Tomb Herald to back up Settra and the Sphinx. So Settra's right smack dab in the middle. So he's going to use Wrath of Petra, because Wrath of Petra does not... Oh no, this is Jaff's incantation of Cursed Blades. Great. I'm going to use this on these skeleton warriors, give them a buff. Make them contend a little. These skeleton warriors are probably going to die. Settra's actually also taking some pretty nasty damage, mind you. This is not exactly what he's meant for. But let's shoot these boar boys. They're the real problem, because I don't have the best anti-cav, or I don't have much anti-cav. I should have recruited more spearmen, actually. That was kind of a mistake. But we should be okay. The casket's pounding on them. The chariots can actually be moved back and around. So I'm going to... Oh my god, what did I just do? That was not what I clicked on. Guys, not what I wanted it to do at all. Jesus. Get back in there. Okay, that's one of those units dead. Yeah, I was trying to click on my chariots and accidentally like clicked on the entire army, which was kind of bad. So we're gonna definitely take some losses, but it's fine. Our units are free. None of this matters. We use the Wrath of Petra again. Let's get him in. Okay, unfortunately the Boar Boys have rallied, and I'd rather not have them engage my chariots. Though I do want to use my chariots. You know what? Screw it. They're not. This isn't what they're meant for, but we gotta bring them in. And guys, we're gonna use chariots in this campaign. Don't you worry. They're notoriously underused because they're very micro heavy, but I don't mind that at all. Like, my main experience in this game is actually kind of dabbling in multiplayer. Like, yes, I do campaigns, but I don't like. I've never done the try-hard campaign style. I just always just mess around. I usually stop the campaigns after I fulfill whatever objective I wanted to fulfill. Jaff's Incantation of Cursed Blades on the War Sphinx. Let's see if we can chase down the guys over there. These guys should be chasing them. Can we get them going? All right, let's speed it up. We won. This has been a victory. Chariots are taking their sweet time. Let's have the casket bombard them. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Alright. Yeah, let's just speed it up. See if we can kill this war boss here. Nope. No, we cannot. Apparently, he's getting away. That I don't like too much. Let's shoot him. You... Yeah, we're not going to chase anything else down, I think. It's just this stuff. But hey, we inflicted some losses. So, we lost 3 units of skeletons. Big deal. We didn't lose anything of import. Settra got 56 kills himself. The casket, of course, got a... you know, the most kills. It's probably going to do that a lot until we start getting elite chariots and start buffing up our chariots, and I start doing more chariot-based plays. Then our chariots will probably end up getting a lot of the kills, because I do like playing as them. I'm not sure what he does. Maybe we'll see when he levels up, if he has like special abilities. But it's cool that he's a character, Harold Nakaf. But yeah, so the Savage Orcs, like, 1-for-1, their infantry is just leagues better than ours. Like, one Savage Orc unit can take, like, 3 Skeleton Warrior units handedly. So any fights with the Greenskins are going to be messy. Like, we're going to take losses from our chaff. But it's chaff! We just recruit new ones next turn at full strength. It really doesn't matter at all. Like, life is cheap. Death is cheaper. It's just our elite units that we want to protect. And you saw when I did my setup, like, I put our elite units behind our main chaff line so that the chaff would absorb the high charge bonus of the Savage Orcs. So that they would take the brunt of the damage, whereas the elite units can then walk in and dish out some hurt in return. And, you know, they got, at least the one, the Hawk Legion and the Tomb Guard here, got a respectable number of kills. And I'll actually go over what these units do soon. So we will... Do we want to... Yeah, I think we want to do replenishment. I mean, I want the canopic jars. I want to harvest their organs. Just because... That just... It works with me as a person. Like, when I defeat an enemy in battle in real life, I always harvest their organs. Like, you have any idea how expensive those are? Like, that's a good deal. But then again, Binding Souls, I do also like doing Binding Souls. The Endless March, No, we'll do some replenishment and we'll get some slaves. For now. We'll harvest organs on the smaller armies that we can then pick apart. Yeah, obviously our ambush was foiled. they may have seen through. But we level up. So, we are of course going to get Root Marcher and Soul Reaper. We got to get the replenishment. So otherwise, you know, our campaign is just going to take painfully long. Okay, so What does he get? Oh, he gets a unique chariot. He gets a cool flail. Oh, dope. Really cool. Yeah, alright. So he's the Herald of Despair, which reduces enemy leadership of all enemy armies in the region. Reduces enemy siege holdout time, which is cool. That's awesome. Makes the enemy defenders take more attrition. Title recitation. He reads out Settra's entire title. Yeah, alright. Gives Settra more leadership aura. Allows him to cause terror because no one wants to listen to that. Settra's champion basically buffs Settra, which is awesome. And worthy inspiration. Oh my god, that's awesome. Yeah, that's super good. Holy crap. Okay, this guy's cool. We're gonna have him generate canopic jars. So the canopic jars we use for the mortuary cult, if you're unfamiliar, which is basically this whole mechanic that allows you to recruit special legions, which as you can see there's a hell of a lot more of, thanks to the mods. And it also allows you to make items. It allows you to basically perform special rites, thanks to the Tomb Kings thing, which, yeah, this allows you to, like, sacrifice slaves to get canopic jars. Oh, you can harvest organs. And then also you can recruit followers, which are pretty damn good, as they are. But alright, so I wanted to take a look at some of the unique units here. So the Hawk Legion of Settra, they are Nehekhara warriors with shields, so they aren't quite Tomb Guards. They're not as good as Tomb Guards, though they have a respectable stat line. If you compare it to the Tomb Guards with halberds, they actually have better... No, I'm doing this wrong. Compared to the Tomb Guards with halberds, wow, okay, they're actually just better. They just have less good melee defense. Wow. Okay, they're quite good. They have Hawk Legion Discipline, which the Liche Priests have instilled these warriors with souls drawn from the ancient Hawk Legions of old. As long as the link to the Realm of Souls is strong, these Hawk Legions will perform with discipline and resolve far beyond normal Nehekhara warriors. Alright, that explains that. So they're just a lot better. They're anti-infantry, they're melee expert, which explains the very high values. Yeah, these guys are just, like, good. And then they have this. Which, as long as their leadership isn't broken and their hit points is more than 25% chance, and we aren't like losing the battle, they get all kinds of buffs. So they're a really solid unit, and I will be able to recruit more of them later. They are limited, like I can't recruit all that many, but I will at least be able to recruit some. No, Settra does not serve. We're gonna auto-resolve this. I'm not going to fight every single battle. So this still... Okay, this doesn't give us much replenishment. So we'll harvest organs here. And then, like, this army is crushed. I'm not going to chase them down. That'll take way too long. I need to make my way up and take Zandry. Otherwise, we're never going to get anywhere. But we will recruit new stuff. So look at this. We can already recruit, like, higher tier units. So I'm going to combine some of these guys here. And yes, we have an upgrade system. But these require canopic jars. And technology. So we'll merge these. So now we have 4 units. So we can recruit a total of 6. So I'm actually going to delete this spearman unit because we can get more elite ones. So I will actually get 4 spearmen this time and 2 swordsmen. 1 swordsman. I lied. So that's going to fill up our slot, and this is now going to be silver chevron units, so they're going to be far more capable than the ones we had previously. And we have, yeah, the skill points. Right. Oh, you have 2 more. Of course, because you just won a battle. So let's finish up Soul Reaper. I'm not going to go straight to Lightning Strike. I'll do that later, right? I know that's like the meta, is go straight to Lightning Strike so that you can do that, but it's not really Settra style. I'm also not going to do that with every lord. I'll do it with the ones that it makes sense. But as for this guy, we will do Indomitable Will, and then we're going to finish up the canopic jar. So he's giving us 3 canopic jars per turn from harvesting organs. Don't ask where he's getting these organs from, alright? It's rude. It's rude to ask a Nehekharan where they get their organs, okay? Just don't do it. But, alright. Ending the turn. I'll not be cutting out the end turn timers, because they go pretty fast, and that's just an unfathomable amount of editing work. Otherwise. So, I'll just try and, you know, keep you guys entertained as we go through it. As for like how many turns or how long every episode is going to be, we're just going to play it by ear. I try and keep my episodes around an hour long each. So like here, normally you take the Liche Priest, right? But we're not going to do that because we've banished the Liche Priest. So instead, we're going to get ourselves a Tomb Prince. Prince Nehekhara. I like the name. We'll keep it as is. So, you go on up there. The prince can... Yeah, great. He actually can link up with this army, and he will. So I will not delete that one, because that one's elite. We'll delete the less elite one, and we're going to bring the prince into Settra's army. So, what is this guy's trait? He is a... Yeah, I mean, he's a melee expert. He's an anti-large. He's a halberd-wielding unit. He's got Guardian, the Curse of Jaff, so when his hit points drops below 50%, he basically does a melee attack debuff and a rampage aura around himself, which is pretty cool, because, you know, the Tomb Kings are cursed. Don't mess with them when they're dead. Let's upgrade our pyramid. So here's a unit that gets unlocked, and this is kind of what I was talking about. Skeleton warriors with dual axes, like, they just don't make sense from a fluff standpoint, so we'll never use them. Like, I like the Tomb Kings Extended mod for all of the cool fluff things that it adds, but I do feel like there's a lot of stuff that it adds that I wish it didn't. Like, of course, when it's just the player, like, you just don't use them, but we might end up encountering some of these, like, unfluffy units in the campaign. And it's just gonna be what it is. Alright, what do we got here? This looks like a rogue army has settled there. There's usually a rogue army will come around there. But alright, so now, we can get some more buildings. And if you see, like, all of these buildings now upgrade all the way to the 5th tier, which is great. But what does this give? Oh yeah, so this gives the Golden Host of Marach, Necrolith Colossus, which is basically like the sword tomb giant, Ushabti Ancients. Oh my god. I'm excited. So I want to get the growth building, but at the same time I don't want the growth building here. Now there is one thing that I want. God damn it. Can I just stay clicked on it? Is this, because you can unlock Tomb Swarms, Khepra Swarms, Tomb Guardians, which are, I don't know what they are. Okay, this is the Sword Bone Giant, never mind. Khemri Zombie Dragons, I don't think we'll use that, because I don't think that's lore friendly. Bone Giant, the other Bone Giant variant, absolutely. Skeleton Slave Laborers, I mean, that's not a lore unit, but they make sense as just like a meat shield. The Bastethi? I have no idea what that is. Interesting. They're like mummified cat wolf things. I mean, if it's going off of Bastet, the cat goddess, that would make sense. So let's see. Oh, there's a gold mine here? Of course. We build the gold mine. Let's upgrade our chariot building. Let's upgrade our infantry building. And then from here... Tomb Guard, Horseman... No, like... So here, I don't need these things. It's a bit annoying to click on these things sometimes. This would give a better garrison. Which, actually, I'm going to do right now. I'll probably remove this later once it's at the heart of my territory, but I know that the greenskins like to just swarm down here while I'm busy doing other stuff. That's just something that's happened in, like, every single Settra campaign that I've done. It's like, I'm up here trying to conquer Zandry, and the greenskins will show up with, like, 3 armies, so I have to make this god-awful long multi-turn trek back to, like, fight them off while they're sieging Khemri. So having a better garrison will make me feel a bit more confident with all that. As for what we're going to do, we're going to force march up towards Zandry. And we're going to take that, which will finish up this province. Yeah. I'm excited for this campaign, guys. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've just been waiting for the game to finish up with its updates, which it now is. It's been done for a while, but I was waiting for all the mods to finish up with their updates, especially SFO, which came out with The Last Kiss like a couple of weeks ago, which is the vampire mod, which you're probably wondering, like, why aren't you doing that one? Because, I don't know, because Settra. That's why, alright? That's why. I do know. What I said before was a lie. when I play this game, I either play Settra or I play the Skaven. I do occasionally play the vampires. And, you know, I've tried most of the other factions. There's a couple of factions that I just don't play. Like, I don't play the Greenskins, I don't play the Coast. I don't like Norska. Don't really like the Warriors of Chaos in their current iteration. I liked the Beastmen. Believe it or not, I liked them a hell of a lot better before their update. I like the update, I like everything that it did for them. But I feel they're just too easy. And the only way to rectify that is to, like, turn the difficulty up, and that creates the stupid balancing problems. Which I hate even more than playing an easy campaign, so it's just like, I don't know. I found the Beastmen campaign to be quite boring in its new rendition, honestly. Like, I like all the new units, I like, in principle, what they did. Like, if it was a more unclear battle, I would play this. Ah, it's our first siege. And I think Zandry has a unique map, because I'm also running the special map mod. So, you know, we're gonna fight this, it'll be an easy fight. But I want to show you guys, because I think this is a unique, no, it's not. Okay, sorry. It's not unique at all. So I'm running the GCCM mod, which basically adds a bunch of maps in, especially to minor settlements, to make most minor settlements into not just field battles, but apparently it's not for Zandry. I thought it was. Or maybe I don't have the mod active? I have no idea. Thought I did. But whatever, we'll do this one. Yeah, we'll start deployment like that. That sounds fine. So, we will send in the archers and the casket to force them to come to us across this small choke point. I'll have my legions... I will basically, I'm just gonna put them in formation already so that I don't have to do it after the fact. My god, I cannot wait until Game 3, which is going to have this be an automatic feature that you can just, like, save formations for later, which will be just swell. I'm super stoked for that. I'm not super stoked about everything else in Game 3. I think there's a lot of things that I kind of have gripes about. But overall, I think it'll be a good game. We'll put the Sphinx there, and then, of course, the chariots we can put out here on the flank. Not the best battle to use the chariots for. I don't think we're going to catch the enemies before they cross the choke point, so never mind that. Maybe it will be a good battle for the chariots. We'll send them up. How many boar boys do they have? None. Alright, perfect. Our chariots can reign supreme. The casket will do its caskety business. Look at the damage. It's like a quarter health off the unit in one hit. It's ridiculous. Like, ranged units are fucking OP in this game. Send them in. Send them in too. Shoot the archers, actually. We'll have our archers go against their archers. And in fact, I should be shooting at the biggins. So that's kind of an elite unit. Are these guys biggins as well? They are. So, as soon as these biggins come in range, I'm going to shoot them, because the chariots can deal with the archers. Oh, yes. What you guys doing? You hesitating? Why are you hesitating? Alright. Now we send this against these archers, and these guys can go in right here. You fight right there. Alright, Settra. You can cast the incantation on the Hawk Legion here. And you can use your Curse of the Wrath of Petra. Oh yeah, and they're routed. Let's chase them down. Wow, that was fast. We don't actually need to chase them down at all. Because it's a settlement battle, so they're automatically all destroyed. And we don't get extra XP from doing that, so... no point in chasing them down this time. That was very fast. Very fast, easy victory. Should have just auto-resolved it. I thought we'd fight in a cool, unique map for Zandry, and I wanted to show you that, but apparently not. Apparently that was in the previous edition of the mod, actually, now that I think of it. Because they did, I don't know why, but they kind of, like, redid their mod. I'm going to link a mod list, of course, with all the ones that I'm using, because there are a lot of them. So you guys can use them all together if you so desire. I'm hoping nobody updates a mod which, like, invalidates everything. Like, I know SFO is done. They're not coming out with anything else. I think the Tomb King's extended, or I don't know if that's going to come out with anything new, and I don't know if when they do update, if that, like, breaks the old saves. We'll have to see. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope we'll be able to go through all of this campaign. And this campaign's goal is going to be basically conquer all of the Southlands and the Badlands. I'm not going to do a full, like, campaign victory. I'm not concerned about painting the map. Oh, and we need to destroy a couple of factions. The Black Pyramid must be destroyed. Alright, what do we do here? So we've taken it. We're going to occupy it. Get some canopic jars. Zandry is ours. So, Zandry unlocks a unit that I can't find anywhere. At least I thought it did. No, these are the... Are they in here? Where do you get them? I honestly have no idea. We'll see. We'll see. Where's that up here? Because this... I could have sworn there was a Legion of Legend that you can get from Zandry. Oh, maybe that's right here. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't get one from here. Alright, well, let's upgrade the gold mine. And we've got some leveling up to do. So, Settra, who does not serve. We're not going to give him a horsey, because it's dumb. He'll be on foot. We're also not going to give him the War Sphinx, because that's dumb. Right? That's one of the things I detest about this game, is how every fucking lord needs to have some sort of monstrous mount in order to be viable, or in order for people to like them. Like, back in the day, they released foot lords, and it was cool, like Vlad. But, like, Lokir, they gave a dragon to, even though, like, his whole thing is that he's a fucking excellent duelist on foot. Same with Wulfric. Like, why the fuck does Wulfric have a mammoth? Chariot, I'm actually okay with, because he's still fighting, but, like, on the mammoth, he's literally sitting up there, doing nothing. Same with Lokir on his dragon. Like, he's doing nothing, and the whole, like, thing that made these characters interesting is just lost. Now it's just, like, another lord on a fucking dragon with nothing overtly cool about them. So, we're not gonna do the monstrous War Sphinx. I know that's the meta thing. You get him on his War Sphinx, you don't get him on his chariot, because the chariot's less good. But we're gonna get him on the fucking chariot, guys. And we're gonna play with chariots, alright? I don't care. Alright, we're gonna... Speaking of which, Master Charioteers, we're going down it right now. Alright, this is what we're doing. Alright, and we can't recruit any new ones just yet. Can we recruit those? I mean, I'm gonna drop one of these. See, what is this? The Vulture Legion. They have short bows, so they've got short range, but flaming arrows, vanguard deployment, and aquatic. Alright, so these are from Zandry. This isn't what I was thinking of. This is from the, or I guess it's from any port. That's interesting. They're like sailors, I think. Huh. Do we want to do that? No, I'm going to save this for, like, a different army. And we'll just recruit another standard skeleton. Though, maybe... Can we? Yeah, we will do that now. Alright, Nakaf. He can be upgraded. We're going to give him the Flail of Skulls, of course. And I actually want to give him training. That's going to be good. Get some XP going around. Some people seem to think that the training benefits are useless. Yes, they take a while, but... For units that you plan on keeping throughout your entire campaign, it's actually quite good. Now, for him... he's going to give us canopic jars. Everyone's going to do this. This is one of the few, like, cheesy mechanics that I'm going to abuse. I'm not going to, like, abuse looking for the right lords, or the right heroes and lords. I'm not going to do that. I don't like that style of gameplay. So we're going to do the Worship of Petra, which is going to increase our campaign movement through this region, which is going to be super handy. It's going to decrease the chance of plague spreading and give us more growth, which is what this region needs. And then we're going to wipe out the orcs. The real question is, do I take their territory, or do I just raise it? Not sure yet. Another thing I want to do...
You find me in an accepting mood.
Tutankhanut.
Every 1,000 years. Never.
No, why not? You are gonna have to pay us. No, you don't want to pay us? What about now? Now you will. Alright, I like this. Make him a vassal. Great. So, Tutankhanut is now a vassal. So, we technically control Numas and Qatar, which is awesome. He has submitted to us. He is wise. If his faction get destroyed, we will gladly accept him to serve us. This place needs to be destroyed. So, you know, logically, when you're playing the Tomb Kings, you conquer this because it's good. No. Settra doesn't want to have any fucking monument of Nagash that rivals his own monument. Look at this pyramid, okay? That is a big, beautiful pyramid. That is Settra's pyramid. This one is bigger, and that is not allowed. So we're going to rip it apart stone by stone. We're going to raise that and make sure no one ever colonizes it again. Anybody that tries to colonize it again, we will annihilate. Alright? Every monument to Nagash will be destroyed. So there's one thing Settra hates more than serving. And that's Nagash. We cannot tolerate him.
You have the attention of the Imperishable.
What do you want? You want trade? You'll pay me. Good. We'll have trade. The wretched humans. What do you want? Declare war? Oh, you're gonna die, mate. You are gonna die. Alright. A couple of things we need to do. Let's get to Gorgazan. We'll make our way around here. We'll raise Gorgazan and we'll raise Nehekhara. And then we'll make our way back to Numas and wipe these guys out. I will capture their territory because the Springs of Eternal Life and Kasabar are cities that should belong to Settra. And not some filthy upstart vampire fucking with Sauron. How many times have you died? Alright. We will hold Zandry. There's also these humans here on our borders. Breathers. We'll have to wipe them out too. Alright. So, Gorgazan, your time has come. We're not going to fight this one. We're going to raise it. Or do we sack it first and then raise it? First we'll take our treasures back. We'll raise it next turn. Alright, we'll raid the territory while we're busy doing that. We will get more of the Master Charioteers. So that's going to give our chariots a total of 20 charge bonus, 6 melee attack, and 15% reload reduction, which is quite good.
He means nothing.
Get him more training. And we'll give him hard to hit. We'll give him defense. Because his whole thing is he just needs to remain standing. He doesn't need to, like, kill people. You will get more canopic jars. And buffs to the entire army here. Could be interesting. Let's actually buff the self first, because he needs to survive. He needs to not get killed by, something. Yeah, we're doing a bit of raiding, showing these orcs, these filthy greenskins, what's what. They infringed upon our land, which is just not allowed. Not at all. We'll probably do 1 or 2 more turns, then I'll call the episode. That'll be our little intro to Warhammer Total War. Oh, you've gone to keep yourselves there to die. What do you want? Military access? Absolutely not. You will not trespass across our lands. Be gone. Wretched breathers. Right. We will build a fortress there. And we will upgrade the fortress here. Let's go out of raiding stance and attack Gorgazan again. This is going to give us a Pyrrhic victory? I call bullshit. We'll fight this one then. Be good. More experience. We'll fight this. We'll destroy this army yet again, and then we'll raise the city. We're not gonna capture it. I have no desire to hold this territory just yet. We'll worry about it later. Inevitably, the orcs are going to come back and reclaim it. Then we'll take it. Right now, we need to make sure our southern borders are stilled, and we just need to make sure there's nothing on our northern borders. All right. So. Oh, interesting. This actually shows... Oh, that's cool. Actually shows, like, a settlement. Don't know if that's... I think this is still just a normal map, right? Ah, the Badlands. Badlands has a certain charm to it. I like this type of terrain. Kind of reminds me of Eastern Washington. A little bit less... A little bit more crazy, I should say. Though Eastern Washington has its fair share of crazy terrain. It's, I used to go there a lot when I was younger. Dry Falls. Site of the, one of the greatest recorded floods. Well, sorry, it's not recorded. One of the greatest floods in ancient history. There's definitely no one around to record it. I mean, there were probably humans in that area, but don't think they survived. Alright, oh yeah, and the Sphinx. All is sand, yes. Yes, Settra, all is sand. And the chariots over here. Send the chariots on a deep flanking run. There's some goblins there, but that's fine. Alright, what do we attack? Let's bomb the regular old savage orcs. I don't care about these small units. We gotta destroy some of the big ones. Actually, hit that one. They have, some elite stuff. Right. Looks like the boar boys are coming for me. So I'm gonna break off one of the spearmen to go and deal with them. Hopefully the chariots can get away from them in time. No, they can't. They're super slow. Why are they so slow? I wish I could look at their stat cards, but for some reason the, one of the mods has disabled that. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Go after their war boss, would ya? Cast the incantation of Accursed Blades. Get all stuck in and then use the Wrath of Petra as soon as you're well and truly surrounded by enemies. Bam! There we go. Unfortunately, our chariots have been caught. Okay, we've pulled them away. Then we can get into the back sidelines. This chariot, actually, I want to just have pull back over here. I'd rather not have them get damaged. You know what? This might be a Pyrrhic victory. We're taking some losses for sure. No, okay, you know what? Engage. Engage. Screw it. What's the worst that'll happen? We can always recruit new ones. How are these guys doing? That's just against goblins. You know what? I'm going to have the casket help them out. So they need to hold there. These guys need to hold here. My archers are going way too far. I don't know what they're doing. All the way in the enemy lines. But alright. Looks like we're winning. Send the chariots off in pursuit. How many of them are left? 23? Yeah, keep the casket on the boar boys. Okay, these guys need to re-engage. So they're going to go over that way. The Sphinx is going to help them out. Sehechanet will help them out as well. Is that his name? Yeah, Sehechet. Sorry. You guys go up that way. My archers need to pull back a little. We can go after them. My chariots can go after them. Why don't you shoot the war boss down, actually? You guys engage there. These are just goblins. The most wretched of the wretcheds. Alright, it's one unit that's holding out. They're breaking. Alright. Once again, we don't need to worry about chasing them down because this is a settlement battle. So, once again, the Casket of Souls gets the lion's share of the kills. But we'll have the rest of the units be doing well, eventually. Because right now, like, these enemies, the Savage Orcs are pretty tough. If we were fighting a less durable and hitty enemy, we'd be seeing, you know, some of our elite infantry, like the Hawks Legion and the Tomb Guard, be getting more kills. Though they didn't do too bad. And our chariots, too. Just, unfortunately, we got caught out by the boar boys. I'd be interested to see how fast the chariots are, because they seem, like, really slow. Which is probably because of the mod. I know they're not super fast in the base game, but they're also, like, they don't feel that slow. So if there's something that I can get to speed the chariots up, that'd be great. Alright. The top knots. Always the bane of the early campaign when playing Settra. They will just continuously harass you. Unless you fully wipe them out. And then even then, like, if you wipe them out, some other greenskins are just going to come down from the Badlands to take their place. Now, of course, there's also Malagor, who's a threat. I mean, Malagor was always there, but... Alright, we've gotten Orc's Bane from defeating Orcs. We've raised Gorgazan. Let's level up. So, we will give him... I think... We want to go for Sun-Scorched Bones? Or actually, he's going to be our only caster, so let's go into the casting tree. He's our priest king. He's going to be our only caster for a while. Right, Worthy Inspiration. Yes, please. Give me that. That is so good. Right, and you... he's not riding a silly horse. That's... we'll leave that to the Liche Priests that we'll never get. Give him melee defense. We will give him a chariot when the time comes, of course. But, alright, guys. I think this is a good place to stop the episode. It's our first little expansion. Conquering Zandry, smiting the filthy Savage Orcs. And, soon enough, we will move against the other undead, the wretched vampires, the betrayers, followers of the false god Nagash. We'll deal with them. We'll give them a true reckoning. We'll make them regret their unlife. Alright, guys. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave it a like. Help these new series get along. And of course, help the channel get noticed by the YouTube algorithm. So, if you guys have enjoyed it, do leave a like. Do subscribe if you're new. I'll be doing a lot more other strategy stuff. I'll inevitably be playing more Warhammer Total War, not just this campaign. And I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.